Do the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Scott?
Yes.
Joyce? Linda?
Yes.
Steve? Bill?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Okay. We are here to talk about the fire truck. It's our special meeting, discuss the contract and possible approval to purchase a new fire truck. It's a pumper. So, we'll get started. Mike?
You wanna talk?
I'm not holding pain.
Okay. I do have the new contract here.
No.
Like I talked before that, there was that increase. It was originally $261,012. It's up to $2,773. $2,073.
273.
Oh, what did that last time
Yeah.
too? And 35.
Got 2,000, we'll take it right now.
Yeah.
So
Is it out back?
that went up that percentage that we talked about. Daryl has it all broken down. You guys want Daryl to talk to you, or what do you guys wanna do?
One thing we gotta just, let them kind of tell us, about the fire truck and what
Yeah.
everybody's support
There's
cutting
a-
out and all that stuff.
There's the
And all that good stuff. Was it roughly, what, 3% increase? Is that what it was?
3 to 4%.
So each month it gets 3% about a month that we keep.
3 or 4.
Really
I
keep-
mean, when you're talking that kind of money, it's
Yeah.
a percentage.
3 or 4%, I mean, it's only,
Well, we gotta figure it out, whatever, but that's what
I
I said.
mean,
So the original was what, this new quote here is the old one? This is
that's
the
the
new
new
quote,
quote.
okay.
That's the new and latest.
It was 273,000.
And he's here, right?
Yep, Daryl's here.
Okay, well,
Daryl, you
we'll
wanna-
put him on the floor.
Let's read that.
Daryl Chapman.
Hi, Daryl.
Oh,
All right.
Hello.
I do. How are you gentlemen and
Good.
ladies tonight? There's cards. Okay, a little bit, I've been in business at Cridersville, you know where that is, just south of Lima, for about 55 years. And the closest truck I've got to you people is probably Kansas. Got 2 trucks over to Kansas, so been in the neighborhood. We sell a line of fire trucks named Rosenbar. They are the second largest in the United States. Worldwide, they would probably be the largest because we have plants in the United States at Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We have it north of Minnesota, or St. Paul, Minnesota. We have 2 plants up there, and then we have one in Nebraska. Your particular truck would be built just outside of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We presented a truck back in May, I believe it was, or June. And of course, in the time span as the world goes in the United States, we always have price increases as the years change, so I had to redo the contracts a little bit. I hate to do that, but that's the way it is. With our proposal, you got the proposal pages? Yeah.
Rob has one.
You'll notice on there, if you can pay, it's a Freightliner chassis, okay? If you can pay for the chassis when it's delivered to our plant, roughly about 120 days into the contract, give or take, then there's a deduct of, it's down there in the bottom line, $3,900 and some dollars, I believe. You see where it is? At
Yeah,
about
it's $10,579.
Yeah. So that, if you can do that,
That kinda offsets the increase then,
pardon?
kinda offsets the increase then.
Yeah, kinda helps a little bit, yeah, for the increase. Gets back to what we was doing in May, a little bit closer, yeah. So basically, operate out of Cridersville. If your truck is, order is given to us, we keep you informed. What would happen, alls we need is the contract signed, one of them. You can keep one for yourself. And they'll countersign, if you'll notice at the bottom, there's a line there for the company to countersign, which they'll do, and they'll mail back a copy of the countersigned contract. Then in about 20 days or something like that, we need to do what's called a pre-build, which again, we'll meet with the fire department, and we'll go over everything, spec by spec, make sure it's exactly the way they want it. And there's some other things that we have to do, some information to get about lettering, striping, some of those things. The other thing that's done at that time, we have a change order form that is signed. What that amounts to, within the first 45 days of the contract, if you want, if there's a change to be made, it's the actual cost. If we go beyond that, then there's a cost plus.
Right.
If we go beyond that, there's another cost plus more.
Right.
So what I like to say is, let's get it right in the beginning. We don't want changes down the road. So in the first 20, 30 days, between me, coordination with the factory and the fire department, we gotta get it right. So when the order's processed, it'll be just the way they want it when it.
So do we get preliminary drawings and stuff of the truck? I mean, is that how that works? How does that work?
The drawing?
Yeah, do we get, so they get, for review, once they do it, there's preliminary drawings, and review, all that stuff?
Yeah, there's the drawings of the truck right now.
Yeah, that Scott, that's the same drawings that were in that book originally.
Okay, yeah.
The only thing that's different on that drawing is you'll see there's, spots for air bottles,
Spots for what?
for air bottles.
Okay.
Right above the rear wheels,
Okay.
seeing little doors on each
Yeah,
side.
Yeah, right in there.
That's for, that was missing on the other drawing, I had to get that updated.
And these little things here, in the old drawing, they were not on that truck.
Okay.
And they were spec'd out. We added some stuff, the officers,
he's talking about,
we kinda went through it before.
What goes in there?
air
We
bombs.
gave it to him, we gave it to him, he took it back and changed
Are you
it.
guys figured out everything that you want on it now before we even?
We've kind of sat down and did a list when he came last time, kind of, it's like these lights and stuff were moved, I think they were back here in the back, we've kind of moved some of that stuff.
We talked about Sunday at our meeting that once this is approved, a contract signed, whatever, then we're gonna sit down as a department and figure out, and make sure exactly everything's down to a T, so we don't have to have no,
Yeah.
I don't want personally to pay for a change order.
Right, and a change order is difficult for all
Right,
parties involved.
exactly.
I mean, it really is,
It
because
is.
it's being how far you're
So
into
it'd be
it.
nice if, and we already went through it as officers, so we kinda know what's in there already. And we've already made changes that I think Daryl already redid for us before, so.
Oh.
Okay, so how much money is the chassis up front, so we know what
It's
it
like 89,000 or something like
Is it
that.
93,555?
Then subtract the 3,000,
Yes.
Okay,
That might be.
so 90,000.
It's a ladder, so we
whatever
can
that
go
comes
up
out to.
Three,
It's all these
That would be, and like I said, that's about,
five,
roughly it takes about 120 days for Freightliner to deliver a chassis.
Top of this.
Then they'll mail you, and if you're gonna do that, when we send the order in, then that's noted that you're gonna pay for the chassis, let's say, when it comes in, then they will send you an invoice. You have about 10 days to get the money sent to them.
Just wanna stay right here. just so-
89.
No, nothing tonight.
Yeah.
89, 997,
No, unbelievable.
Subtracted, right?
I've got
15, 15.
one truck, two trucks. I've got two trucks that have just recently sold. They paid, and the company will pay or discount for doing that. They paid up front. Reason for that, because they had the money, and if you have any money in the banks, you know it don't make you much.
Yeah.
What the company paid them was a lot more, so, and that's kind of a new thing that's been
Well, we'd
happening.
like to look at that option too, because I mean, I think, we take advantage of any kind of discount, we get the costs down as much as possible, right? So,
Now, what I have to do, if you wanna do something like that, then, I have to, how much money you wanna pay up front, and I have to send that in and they'll send back a quote of what they'll do on that. That's the way that works.
What's that?
For the chassis, so if you pay for the chassis up front and then not get an invoice. but-
That's already discounted.
Okay, that's.
That's
That'll be
taken care of.
89,
Yeah,
Yeah.
89
that's that.
something.
Oh,
So
okay.
That's that.
say,
It's,
it's real close.
would be the balance that they paid for
Okay.
of the contract.
Okay.
And you don't, like, if you pay for the chassis up front, that's taken care of. You don't owe for the trash, the balance, until I deliver the truck here and it's acceptable. I can't leave a truck without being paid for.
Right.
That's the way it is.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, yeah. But, and I deliver the truck. Now, the other thing I do, when that truck's done, I will go to the factory and I totally inspect it out there. Reason for that is because if some things I don't like, it's easier for them to make them do it than I have to do it at my shop when it comes back. So I go
Might
out
be your
there.
reputation too.
Pardon?
Is it your reputation too?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the truck
So we kinda,
would
we
be
kind of already
delivered
approved
to
that stuff.
my shop in Cragersville. And if the fire department at that time wanted to come down before I was ready to deliver it and go over, they were welcome to do that.
That's kind of what
And then when we get it all ready to go,
so
cleaned
that's
up,
when we kind of took some stuff.
we deliver it.
That should hold us up.
Spend a time and mutual with the department.
Hey.
So that's the way it works.
Usually I have a bunch of them sitting around your place.
The only thing I would say is
Outside.
Not at my
Not
place,
mine.
but out there, if you went out to their factory in South Dakota, you could probably see
get to a point where you.
at least 100. At least 100 in various stages of production. Bare chassis sitting outside waiting to get built. It's a big operation. That's the Sioux Falls is our largest plant.
We were talking that, it shouldn't hold us up, but they need to sit down at their next meeting and have a firm itemized list exactly what they want. With the agreement that if somehow you guys
Well, that's what we say,
don't
after
talk,
20 days,
don't talk to
before
each
20
other.
days, we'll have that all done.
Well, if you guys for some reason don't talk to each other, don't get it right, if there's a possible change order comes out of your budget.
We already talked about that already.
Okay.
That's all right. I mean, I think they've been working on this long enough, you should have everything resolved, but it's like
I
Rob
think
says, it's
there's-
important.
I don't think there's an officer that hasn't agreed with the truck already.
Yeah.
And we already did all that. Actually, we've already went through them specs, and like I said, we've changed stuff. When we had the book previously, before Scott and Steve got it, we actually went through that and crossed out stuff that we didn't want in there. And then Darrell took it back and changed that and put it back in the book. So all the stuff we changed is in that book
The
now.
rest.
Yeah, I just brought new pages
Right.
tonight.
So all the stuff's new that's in there. So we're gonna go back through it before them 20 days and make sure that that's exactly everything we want. So then once it's,
And the other thing we discussed too, because of what happened in the past, we wanna make sure, you remember about that, or?
They don't offer anything, and
Okay.
Joe checked into the outfit and said that he didn't think that he would worry about anything, so.
we had a problem in the past. We bought a truck, our one engine that's out there, our newest one, and the company that was first out, Fire Apparatus out of Toledo, went belly up, and we got stuck, and Darlene ended up picking it up and finished building it for us, but we just don't wanna get stuck with that again, so that's
Yeah.
what they were talking about. Like a
We just wanna make sure.
We just wanna make sure that.
But yeah, John talked to me yesterday, I think it was.
Joe said you could bond it, but it's gonna cost you a fortune.
Yeah, in your case, if you pay for the chassis, you own that chassis.
Yeah, that's one, that's what I was wondering, maybe that's what.
You own the chassis, it's yours, so, I know they're not gonna go under, they're too big.
Yeah.
But if, say, something like that happened, you have a chassis. Now, the one last department that just paid the toll bill up front, they wanted a performance bond. So they have a performance bond guaranteeing the project.
You know, what's something like that cost then, to do a performance bond or something?
It's, $5 a thousand, I think it is, depending, it's based on the contract amount. And, to get a performance bond, but, You don't, in this case, I don't think you need it. I usually recommend if you're putting all your money, like, in the next 10 days, you send a check for that full amount of the truck, I would say you should get the company provide you with a performance bond. And that alters the contract price when you do that. They'll, whatever that amount of the contract is, they'll add whatever it takes for the bond. But, we don't require any money up front. In fact, you don't have to pay for the chassis. That's only an option to save you some money.
But if we don't pay
Otherwise,
for the chassis, you gotta pay that,
Right. Yeah, so,
That extra money.
you got that extra money.
so that's $1,500 or roughly $1,500 to do a performance bond too, so I mean, that's another cost.
yeah, that's a cost.
Yeah, I mean, so,
But if you're putting all your money out, like in the next 10 days, the one that I just done, they had 10 days. The contract has to be signed and go in, and of course, the performance bond would be, we'd have to have new contract pages, that'd be all on there. And the one I just done, we got the contract sent in, the company sent back the countersigned contract and the performance bond. Then they had 10 days to get their money sent. So the performance bond's in their hands before they sent their money. And that's all transpired now, they've sent it. So, and that just happened in the past week.
but I guess I'm looking at it, if the chassis is actually titled in our name, then we have possession of that anyhow if we pay for that, so it's not like, that's something would really be at risk, right? So then you would have the balance of $200,000 roughly or whatever, right? Somewhere in that range, does that make sense?
And they insure
Sense,
the
but-
chassis out there too. The company does. Now, I've had departments that done this, and then they get, with their insurance company, just for their own protection, they get a rider. Which doesn't, the rider don't cost much, because it's not on the road. So kind of double insuring the fact if a tornado went through, or, you know, whatever, that destroyed it, but that's kind of up to you if you wanna do that. But we can, you know, once the chassis is there, a VIN number can be supplied, so you know what your chassis is. And we do this all the time, really. It's not an uncommon thing to pay for the chassis.
Well, I think we might as well just go ahead and do it.
Do you want me to explain the money
Yes.
portion too?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yes,
need-
we do.
Yeah, we need to talk
Where are
about
we gonna
money.
get the
Okay.
90 grand?
Yeah.
Pay for it.
Any other questions?
No, I think we understand that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Okay. This budget sheet is the same one that you guys got at the last council meeting. But, basically, we have, nearly $500,000 in carryover from last year to this year. 178,000 and some change of that was just what we saved from last year's budget alone. So, in turn, if we put that towards this truck, we'll still have roughly $220,000 in carryover. And that is straight from the county auditor's mouth. I went and met with her right away last week, and she said that, no, I was thinking right in the first place. I scared myself at the last meeting. That's why I didn't wanna vote on nothing yet till I double checked. But she said, no, we're okay, so. The biggest thing is, I've talked to Old Fort Bank, and I didn't like the interest rate they were talking. USDA can offer us a better one, but we're running a little late to get on board with USDA. So, they don't know that though. So I'm trying to work them to get a lower interest rate. But like he said, we've got plenty of time to where we actually have to finance the largest portion of it. We can shop around. I mean, there's nothing that says we have to go with Old Fort Bank. And you'd roughly be, taking out a loan for about $100,000, which depending on what the payment ends up being, they shouldn't have a problem making that yearly payment with the levy money. They're bringing in 19.2 a year, so it should be pretty close.
Is there a time frame? Like 5 years, 10 years, whatever?
I think the lowest is like a 10-year, but nobody has a penalty for early payoff. So, the biggest issue is they need to replace that tanker also. So this project has to be done before they up the levy the next time. Because what should have been done this time is, it should have been a renewal continuous. And then we wouldn't be in this position, they would have that money yearly forever. We'd be discussing what a payment would be rather than how we're gonna figure out how to pay for it. So, when that levy comes up again next time and this truck is paid off, that's what needs to be done. So they can finance a tanker. Then we're not having to throw money out of the general fund at it to get it going.
Any questions for John?
I think that, that's
I
what we
think that's pretty
discussed.
straightforward.
Yeah, so I think, it's something we've been trying to figure out how to deal with. I mean, the problem is we can't keep carrying this money over, we're gonna get in trouble with the,
Well, there's plenty of places that it could be spent, but this is a necessity.
This is a safety issue.
This has to be done. I mean, it's,
And the loan thing too, John and I talked, we're gonna try to get that loan paid off as soon as we can.
right.
So anything we can do to help make that, you know what I mean, to make more on that payment.
so everybody on your team's on board and doing it this
Yeah.
way, right? I mean,
Yeah.
our officers and stuff, cause that's our biggest concern.
I mean, they'll still have their yearly budget
Yeah.
within the general fund.
Yeah,
They just won't have that money from the levy to spend on equipment. It's already spent on
Gonna be
equipment.
earmarked.
right. So,
And there's some things that have to be changed as in line items for which Angela sorta knows what's going on with it, but we'll have to, basically a line has to be created to pay out of the general fund for it. Cause the money will come in and go into its normal levy line, and then it's gotta be transferred out of that line into the payment line. Also, I've got some information that may help us in the future, along the lines with purchasing equipment like this. The city of Tiffin has changed and made an appropriation line item that a percentage of their carryover yearly goes into this line item, and that's strictly for equipment replacement such as this.
Kinda like a capital improvement type fund,
It's not called that, it's different
Right.
under the ORC, but basically,
basically the same thing.
same
Okay.
type of concept.
But
Alright,
would they give it like to us and little other communities, or is it
No,
just?
no,
for
no,
them?
that's
No,
us,
that's us.
that's
Like
us.
like what we've been doing for like, how we've been transferring that money over from our budget.
Oh, okay,
There-
okay.
So,
we
so
go
say,
into-
say our carryover this year is $200,000, we would put $20,000 into this line item. But it's only good for 10 years, you have to redo the
Right.
resolution every 10 years, the money has to be spent every 10 years.
Okay.
So,
But it'd be further along where we're at now, we'd have that money in there instead of trying.
right, cause we've been talking about a truck
Right.
like this for probably close to 10 years, so,
Kinda like the bathroom.
like your bathrooms.
Okay.
But that's obviously things down the road to make things like this a little easier than what we're dealing with right now. It would be on paper in front of you, and it'd be a lot easier to comprehend, but, Julie says we're not out of the realm of what we're doing, so,
cause I've talked to her too.
I was panicking.
That's a lot of money, I mean,
That's,
that's a lot of money for a
a
small
lot of
community.
money for me to say you have and then you don't,
Yeah,
so, yeah. No.
Commissioner, that pretty well.
So basically, you have $180,000, it's 178 and some change,
mhm.
$180,000 that would not be an issue to throw at this,
Okay.
so.
Any questions, Ron? Other things?
We talked the last meeting about getting, the community's input on this, didn't it? Do we have any movement on that?
On the what?
Community input, no, we've been
Oh.
talking about it, nobody's
It's
said,
been posted since Friday about the meeting.
That's what I wanna know.
yeah, yeah.
It was posted for 6:30, John.
No, it wasn't.
No, it's not.
What?
No,
I must be something.
I can show you the picture.
I got one right here.
But we did put
Because
it
I
out
saw
there
it
that
posted.
we-
Yeah,
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 it's-
yeah.
We didn't get any ration.
No,
No.
Yeah, that's all I was concerned.
yeah.
But even at that, on our end,
Pardon?
we can always tell the public, you know, if they come in, we do our open houses and stuff.
Right.
You know,
I
with the village
get
and
that,
stuff.
I get that, it's just at the last meeting, we specifically said that we were gonna do it, and I just wanna make sure we did what we were supposed to do.
All right, yeah. But you're talking about the bonding or whatever, that's what you're talking about, right? So what he's saying is that once, if we buy the truck, basically, and it's in our name, we have title to it. So that's how we're protected, where that wasn't the case in the past. So that's why, you know, we can do a performance bond, but honestly, the cost is probably not the right move.
To the best of my knowledge, the whole project was financed last time.
I
Um,
believe so, yes.
I spoke, I was talking to Scott, but I did speak with Joe Warland, and he said there's no type of, after, it took him a couple days to get back to me, but he said there's no type of insurance that we can purchase other than bonding. And he said bonding's gonna be outrageous. So he looked into the company a little bit, and he told me that he wouldn't sweat anything
That was my
because of the
next
size of the company, so.
question. They did their homework on the company.
I mean, you know, I guess we.
I mean,
yeah,
I
second
haven't,
thought,
so-
but always
But,
contact
yeah,
Kansas.
Joe
They
did.
bought 2 trucks from these guys, so.
Yeah.
Just word is good for me.
Was it Tiffin or Fostoria just bought a truck cost over $1 million?
Tiffin.
Tiffin?
That's a ladder.
Yeah, that's
That
better.
was, that was pretty much.
Yeah.
It was in the paper this morning.
Yeah.
Did you get it from you?
No, it's a, what is it, it's a.
Well, that's because they didn't take title for the title.
Yeah.
That was what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's why he's saying if we buy the chassis,
Let's just go ahead, we'll need to vote. Let's just vote on what, that we're gonna do it, and yes or no, and we'll take a roll call and do it right now.
Make sure it's specific.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
To what? To purchase the
Purchase the
chassis?
chassis.
the purchase fire truck and set up the financing and then purchase the chassis and all that stuff. That was all part of the one package deal. So,
So in order to do that, the contract needs to be signed tonight.
Pardon?
In order for them to make a motion to purchase a chassis, the contract needs to be signed
Yeah,
tonight.
we have to send in a contract.
Okay.
We can't, the company won't do
can't do
anything until we have a
anything,
signed
Yeah, but
contract.
right
Yeah.
here.
He
Here's
brought
the
the
contract.
contract.
So basically, you have to make a motion to sign the contract.
Yeah.
Sign that contract, and that contract will go with him. He'll send it out to, South Dakota. They'll sign it, and they'll send you one back. Both parties sign.
Probably do two,
I guess,
make a motion to sign the contract and then make a motion to pay for the chassis up front.
okay.
Okay, I'll make the motion to sign the contract with Rosenbauer to do our fire truck.
I'll second it.
Linda,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to buy the fire truck,
Chassis.
the chassis.
Pay for the chassis.
I'll second it.
And pay for it. Yeah.
Rob,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes. Anything else we need to
You
do?
gotta sign it.
Yeah, I think.
On,
Who all signed it?
So we don't need a motion like for the financing and all that yet?
Well, that was the motion to pay for the chassis.
Okay.
The financing part I have not
Yeah,
ironed
later.
out yet.
Yeah.
We've got
Did we
8
word it
months
like that,
roughly to
The
to
motion to
get
pay for
that
the
squared
chassis?
away.
Mhm.
So,
Okay. That's something we do.
I'm still working.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we don't need it.
I'm not paying 5% interest. Well, I wouldn't pay for it. They
On,
would, but-
on behalf of the fire department, I'd like to thank you guys for what you guys have done for us. I think everybody in this room, except for maybe Clay and Gary, hasn't purchased a truck before. I think Linda may have.
Yes.
Other than that, we really appreciate what you guys do for us. We're willing to work with you guys, so we really appreciate it.
No, I mean, it's really all about the community, because we all gotta work together, because we're all trying
But it
to.
would be for you guys saying yes tonight, it wouldn't be,
Yeah.
this wouldn't be
Yeah.
happening.
Right.
you know.
You weren't there putting the fires out, there was no reason for us to be here.
I just volunteer doing that.
Just pat yourself on the back.
I don't want to, but I see where you're coming
Just
from.
reach, I have John do it.
We really do appreciate it, I mean, really, it really is.
I know you guys have been working on this for a long time, so we need to get this off center, I mean, we've been talking about it. You know, so,
Okay, so you're authorizing me to go ahead and sign the
Yes.
contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Does you have to sign it, or who all has to sign it?
Just me.
Just send-
So you're in charge.
Do you have to sign it, Michael?
I don't think I have to sign it, do I?
No, it'd be
Just the mayor.
Just the mayor.
contract.
Do,
I signed for the truck, I think.
do you guys have to appoint a designee to sign? I know with the grant stuff, you guys have had to appoint me as a designee to be able to sign for that stuff. I don't know if you have to do the same with appoint
Well,
Gary.
I mean, you could make a motion to have me do it.
I'll make a motion to have Gary sign the contract,
and I'll sign it.
and that way we got it.
I just wanna be on the up and up.
Yeah,
In case we get questioned.
Scott, you made the motion?
yes,
Who second?
Rob,
Scott,
yes,
Rob,
yes?
Joyce,
Yeah.
Linda,
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Any other motions?
On behalf of Rosenbar and myself, I'd like to thank you all for the
Thank you.
business
thank you
Thank
for your
you.
time,
endeavor to do you a good job.
I know you will.
Very well.
So should I
Okay,
ask, should I ask
That's all
what's
we
a
can talk
chassis?
about anyhow. Made a motion to
Is
adjourn.
this just the
So
bottom,
moved.
the wheels?
Everything. I don't have a picture.
Okay.
But-
We're done.